You're watching Talking Points, a focus on the political scene in Lubbock and across the South Plains.
And welcome back to the show. Here's a look at some of the political headlines of the past week. Word this week, the former Lubbock City Councilman and Lubbock School Board trustee, Deaton Rigsby, passed away at the age of 86. He'd fought Parkinson's for quite some time. Rigsby was also one of the founders of Voice of Hope, a Lubbock Rape Crisis Center. Federal officials taking a look at Lubbock schools, among others, monitoring how they're educating students with disabilities. This after a Department of Education investigation and reports that students with learning disabilities were not being properly identified by Texas schools. LISD's identification rates, though, are actually above the state standard, and they're talking with federal officials about ways to expand their special education program. And Texas Tech basketball coach Chris Beard and 4 members of his Red Raider team at the state capitol this week, being honored by the House and Senate for Tech's run to the national title game this year. Davide Moretti, Lawrence Odiase, Brandon Francis, and Andrew Sorrells also got the chance to meet with Governor Abbott. Pretty cool. Infrastructure updates and additions will be a huge part of what local governments deal with, and of course what you will be paying for over the next 20 years probably. A lot of that has been going on in Lubbock already for a while, though, and it's not just downtown. After this week's rain, KMAC's Nicolette Perdomo looked into some of the storm drainage projects that continue here in town.
Living in Lubbock for more than 30 years, Calvin Humphreys knows what to expect when it rains.
It doesn't even have to rain hard, and it'll get flooded easy. It can be a park, it can be a parking lot, it can be your backyard.
And city engineers say they're working on the problem.
We're always trying to make it better, and we're looking at what is inconvenient to the citizens.
One of their smaller projects begins next week on 98th in Salisbury. This project costs more than $800,000 compared to a bigger project they're working on that costs $90 million.
Being mindful of the money that it costs too, because we try to make sure that we're not going to increase stormwater rates to have to pay for these drainage projects.
Keenum says the storm drainage system won't prevent flooding from happening, but it will stop the water from moving into businesses and homes nearby.
The big thing we're interested in is protecting structures from flooding, and that's really what we design for in our criteria and our standards, making sure that structures are elevated so that they don't flood when we have rainfall events.
And Humphreys says he's ready for that change.
You got to think about how the drainage problem is affecting people. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to minorities.
Nicolette Perdomo, KMAC News.
All right, thank you so much, and we welcome back Lubbock County Judge Curtis Parrish, friend of the show, who has construction projects of his own going these days after county voters passed Prop 8. Congrats on that.
Thank you very much, and really congratulations to the people of Lubbock County.
Yeah, no kidding.
And we just want to say thank you for the confidence they have in coming alongside us and looking toward the future, not just the present needs of Lubbock County, but certainly looking toward the future needs of Lubbock County.
Right.
We just want to say thank you.
Sure. And so what happens now to get the ball rolling now? So the votes are in. What's next in the process?
Well, next, obviously we have identified our immediate needs. We have those projects already, many of them already ready to go. Mm-hmm. Some of those will begin before the summer is over. Some we will, once those bonds are issued, we'll begin construction phase on those. I will say most people have, and rightfully so, a concern about Woodrow Road.
Oh, sure.
And so where we're at in that process is that on Monday, Commissioner's Court meeting, we will be looking at hiring the engineering portion of that. Now that money has already been allocated through the MPO, the Metropolitan Planning Organization. So we will begin that engineering phase of Woodrow Road hopefully by the middle of this summer.
Goodness. All right. But there was a push by some in this process to say, look, let's maybe wait on the bond election until November. Maybe a little more transparent with voters, maybe a little bit more clear on the whole project as a whole for everyone to vote on. Would that have been a better option, or was it much better to do right now?
Well, in my opinion, it was better to do it right now. And I will say our comprehensive transportation improvement plan was approved unanimously by the Commissioner's Court. This comprehensive plan looks at the transportation needs of all of Lubbock County. All quadrants of Lubbock County is what this transportation plan looks at. You know, the analogy, Brian, that we use is that the 2 best times to plant a tree are 20 years ago and today.
Right.
And so today, the citizens of Lubbock County said, let's plant the tree. Let's make these roads.
$99.6 million in bonds, but not all at once, right?
No.
What's the reason behind all?
Well, one is we can't do $99 million worth of projects at once. So the comprehensive transportation plan was designed to phase construction in. Now, what we will do is approximately $5 million worth of construction in the first 2 years. And then as those projects are paid for, then we will go back and fund another $5 to $10 million worth of projects. As soon as those are paid off, then we'll fund the next series of projects. That's why this is done as a Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 comprehensive plan, so that the tax burden on the people of Lubbock County will be minimal, if not zero.
Well, you said here the idea was, anyway, that this would not change people's property taxes.
That's right.
How tenable is that still moving forward?
Very tenable. In fact, that is the plan, and we've looked at the financials on that, and this is counting on the growth that we're already seeing in Lubbock County. We are seeing major growth right now in Lubbock County. Certainly in some areas of Lubbock County are growing more than others, but all of Lubbock County is experiencing some substantial growth right now. So we're counting on that growth to pay for these growth projects. And I think that that's good stewardship. As we grow, let's pay for that infrastructure to accommodate that growth.
Of course, all the property tax talk we've talked so much about in Austin going on right now, potential changes there. Do you follow that? Does that figure into the planning at all?
We do follow that. And in fact, if anybody, even we're a little less than a month from the legislature session being over, and there's still a lot that's up in the air on what we're going to do. And let me say this, and from a public policy standpoint, we took this bond package to the people of Lubbock County. It is the conservative thing to do. You know, a lot of what's going on in Austin right now are saying that if you're going to raise taxes, if you're going to come in and pull money out of my pocket, we want a voice in that. And that is precisely what we did with this bond package. We said, yes, we want you to come alongside us, and thank you, voters, for doing that. But this is precisely what us as conservatives want. We want the people to have a voice in these kind of projects. And so that's why I was okay with bringing this to the people at this time, saying that, yes, we need this. You drive around our county, you know how much is needed. So come along beside us. And we want your input on that, and we want your vote. And by a 2-to-1 margin, they said, yeah, we'll come alongside you.
Final seconds. You mentioned the meeting on Monday. We're finally going to get a little bit of movement here on this revamped expo.
Well, we're going to continue our movement. We're on the movement to build the expo center. On Monday, we will be taking that next financial step, and that is hiring our bond counsel, our financial advisor, in putting together this public-private partnership toward building the Expo Center, and we will be taking that step on Monday.
All right, we'll look for that. County Judge Curtis Parrish, good to see you again, my friend.
It's good to be here. Thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate it.
And straight ahead, the recent rains great for farmers trying to get seed in the ground, but what will the market look like at harvest time?